So Manchester United's pre-season tour of America ends in defeat. 5 goals in Vegas, Dortmund winning 3-2. There's plenty of talking points in that game. Some of them not particularly positive. Some of them, especially Andre Onana, are positive. I'm going to run through absolutely everything for you. So, give you 10 minutes of your time. But let's start with the starting 11. Let's be honest. That caught me by surprise. Erik Ten Hag deciding tonight in Vegas to not start with his first team, but to go with the second string team. I don't know what that said. Does that show that he's confident about the fitness of his first team? He wanted to give some of these players, I don't know, the opportunity? I don't know. It did catch me by surprise. But I tell you what, in both of those halves, you can see it down there. I've called it defensive mistakes galore. Manchester United conceding 3 goals there against Dortmund, and we were the architects of our own downfall. They were defensive errors from both teams, both that second string 11 in the first half where we conceded 2, but also the first team in that second half where we conceded the third. In that first half, Man United for like about 40 minutes in that first half, total control. Dortmund hadn't threatened us whatsoever, but 2 defensive errors led to 2 goals in the space of 90 seconds. And Ten Hag will be furious at that. Pre-season is not about the results. Pre-season is about patterns, is about fitness. And for United to make 3, I would say, pretty poor defensive mistakes that leads directly to 3 goals in our last pre-season tour game, he'll be angry at that. He'll be furious at that. And that's something that he will, I suppose, want to correct immediately. If I'm going to be talking about that as the biggest negative from that game, then I don't think you'll be too surprised as to who I'm saying was the biggest positive in that game. And it was Andre Onana again. And I'll tell you what it is with Onana, right? It's going to take a while for it to sort of settle down. But everything that he does stands out in like polarizing contrast to what David De Gea did and how David De Gea played. Onana in particular, you can see the photo there. That's him running out to Maguire to shout at him after I think it was Christian Eriksen like a hospital pass. And it led directly to an opportunity for Dortmund within, I think, 5 minutes of the start of the second half. Furious, running out at his defence, having a go at them for making the mistakes. Now, you need your goalkeeper to be intimidating, commanding, controlling, all of those. And Onana has that in abundance, as well as the confidence. And in the second half, you can just see it, man. You can see it when United are playing out from the back with the ball and he's in goal. We can do it a little bit better. We can do it under a bit more pressure. And there was one pass he did to Bruno Fernandes, I think about 5 minutes from time, from the hands. Was it from the hands or was it on the ground? Who knows? Who cares? It's about 60-yard raking pass to Bruno Fernandes over the top. Pinpoint accuracy. I can't wait to see what happens when we've got him playing there. And maybe Rasmus Højlund playing up front. Not maybe Rasmus Højlund. Definitely Rasmus Højlund playing up front. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But unfortunately, the main takeaway from that game, it has to be those defensive mistakes. In the first half, it was Brandon Williams, I think, got caught out for the first goal. And the second goal, it was Man United playing out from the back. But we gave the ball to Lindelof. And Lindelof, just a poor choice of pass. Brandon Williams was in much more space and deeper. And because Lindelof lost the ball, Williams was then keeping everybody onside. And it was an easy goal. 2 goals in, as I said, 90 seconds from them. Brandon Williams I found particularly curious as to why he was playing. Why not Fernandes? I thought that Brandon Williams was like a guarantee to be sold this summer, really. Maybe it was just an opportunity for him to be shown in the shop window. I don't really know. But another big positive to take from that game, Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho just looks so much sharper. Him playing in the false 9 role, it suits him. Playing between the lines, between the spaces, in between where the defence and the midfield of the opposition were going to be, so he can't really be marked. Dropping into those spaces to make sure that he's permanently an option. And he seems a couple of yards sharper and faster. He did against Arsenal, he did against Madrid, and he did here against Dortmund. The fact that he was in the starting 11, the fact that he played 75 minutes, more than anybody else played today, goes to show that Ten Hag he wants to work him. He wants to get those fitness levels up. Maybe Rasmus Højlund won't be starting the season. I don't know. I imagine he will. And hopefully he'll make his debut against Lens next weekend, I think. But Jadon Sancho again impressed. It's just his acceleration over the first 10 yards seems so much better than it did last season. So much sharper, so much quicker. And also in his mind as well, he's spotting decisions that split second faster. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he plays during this season. It has to be the season where Sancho, the Dortmund Sancho, really comes through. But I think he can be particularly proud of how he played in that pre-season tour. I think he's probably one of the players of the pre-season tour. I mean, we lost a couple of games. I know we did. But somebody else who I'm pretty much always impressed with Facundo Pellistri when he plays. Like, he's such a direct player. Really nice and confident, really nice, aesthetically pleasing sort of dribbler with the ball at his feet, causing all sorts of problems for Dortmund. I don't think he'll get enough minutes at Manchester United this season to keep him happy, but we better get him a good loan spell, man. I would, in a selfish way, I would love to keep him at the club, but I think at the point where he is at his career, he needs those minutes. He needs that game time. I don't think he'll get that at Manchester United, so I think he'll get a loan spell, but pretty much every time I've watched him play for United, I've always been impressed. Marcus Rashford came on in that second half and was causing problems for Dortmund down the left-hand side. They couldn't really... No, they kind of did stop him, really, I suppose, but not really sure what to say about Rashford's performance, really. Kind of a mixed bag. My immediate thought was like he looked sharp, but I suppose ultimately didn't have any end product. Speaking of end product, Antony getting the goal. Antony needs more end product this season. He got 8 goals last season, and I was there. I kind of staunchly defended him. I think people were going way over the top with their criticism of Antony. But it's the second season, and in the second season, you have to up your levels. There's a little bit less forgiveness and leeway from fans and probably the media as well. Definitely the media. Got the goal, decent finish, very good at winning the ball high up the pitch. That work rate from Antony is crucial, and that's how United got that second goal. And we need to be scoring more of those goals this year. And Antony is a very good player in that situation. When you lose the ball, you need to win it back quickly. He's the bulldog. He's the one that largely is probably going to be winning it back. And it was a good goal from him. And Diogo Dalot, speaking of good goals, that finish from Diogo Dalot, Wan-Bissaka is... I don't know who... I think Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back right now. But Diogo Dalot's a bit... He's more accomplished in the final third, for sure, than Wan-Bissaka is at this moment in time. And it was a great fit. I don't think you'll ever see Wan-Bissaka curling and finish like he did. But Dalot is very good as the inverted fullback. He knows how to play that role really, really well, occupying central areas. It seems a bit more natural to Diogo Dalot's game than it does for Wan-Bissaka's. And the goal, as I said, the numbers show that in that first half. I thought Diogo Dalot played pretty well. So did Van de Beek. And I've been someone who sort of criticised I've criticised Van de Beek. I still feel that if the right offer comes in, he should be leaving Manchester United. That hasn't changed. But 2 assists, he was in the right... They weren't exactly like a groundbreaking assist, but Van de Beek in the right place at the right time to link the team together. 2 assists for him tonight. I think he'll be happy enough with that performance. I like this one. This photo here is obviously Ten Hag speaking with Forsen. Forsen got a yellow card. I think it was Adeyemi. Got into a bit of a... I don't know, heated, when 2 players like put their foreheads against each other, and it just got heated. They both got yellow cards. About 5 minutes or so later, Erik Ten Hag took him off, and he took Forsen to the sideline, and for 30 seconds he stood there, hand on his shoulder, basically explaining to him, this is why I've taken you off. This was the problem. This is why it needed to be done. And I like to see that. The communication from Ten Hag, it's always been something I think every player's sort of praised. And Forsen didn't, had like a face like a slapped ass when he got taken off because he was furious. He was maybe not furious, but he was frustrated, and I think Ten Hag did the right thing. We went down to 10 men the other day, didn't need that again. But Onana is the big positive from today. You can see it when he comes on. You can see, I don't know, I've just got so much more confidence in him as a fan, and surely those players have that confidence too. But if Onana is the big positive, which I think he was, and Jadon Sancho, Ten Hag will not be happy at all with the defensive shambles that he saw. Too many individual mistakes. You can't do that. Not at the top level. Has to be a team collective performance from front to back. Defensively, we were not there tonight. Ended the preseason with a defeat against Dortmund in Vegas, and it was all our own fault. Ten Hag will not want that. You can let me know what you think about the game in the comments below. But there's 2 more games now left in preseason. Lens at Old Trafford next Saturday, and then I think it's Athletic Bilbao in Dublin 2 more games, 6 down. Another defeat. Let me know what you think.